What would you do if your own mother tried to sacrifice you to make your brother rich? This is the story of Seyi, the only daughter of Mama Ogun. Mama Ogun was a feared traditional worshipper in Àpara Kingdom. She had 2 children. Tade, very arrogant and proud. He doesn't greet. Whenever the elders walked past, no good morning or good afternoon. People always whispered that the boy walked about with Ogun's iron hidden inside his chest, and such whispers only inflated his ego and pride. Seyi was humble and loved by everyone. Despite Seyi's kind heart and humility, Mama Ogun terribly despised her. At every slightest opportunity, she would call her a goat born to a lion. She would starve her, overwork her. In the face of all of these, Seyi kept her kindness at 100. Whenever an elder passed, she would bend her knees till they squeak. Let me help you carry the firewood, Mama. Old folks loved her so much that they often showered her with prayers. God will bless you, my daughter. Everything will work in your favor. No calamity shall befall you. These were the type of blessings she received from the elders on a regular basis. Mama Ogun always queried, "Must you help everyone you come in contact with? Can't you behave like your brother?" Sometimes she would ask Seyi to sweep the compound 5 consecutive times, just so she won't have time to help others in the village. Seyi did not let her mother's criticism deter her. She continued lending her hands to everyone who needed them. And as a result, everything always worked in her favor. The women of Àpara village always wagged fingers at their own daughters. Can't you be respectful and modest like Seyi? Did Seyi have 2 heads? Seyi was a school set holder. Their late father sold everything he had just to send his 2 children to school. But Tade did not last. By the 2nd year, he stormed out of the class shouting, "What's the point of mathematics when I already have an ancestral connection?" He dropped his pen and picked up cowries. Meanwhile, Seyi held on to her studies like NEPA wire in the rainy season. She battled her exams and got a certificate which she treasured like a lifeline. Everything she touched turned to blessing. Her crops grew faster. Rain fell on her cassava first. Unfortunately for Tade, his palm oil business was not doing well. His arrogance made no one want to patronize him. On one chaotic market day, as harmattan dust danced around the market and disappointed traders packed up unsold goods, Tade lost whatever was left of his chill. Then he threw his hands in the air and howled like a masquerade. Why is my village jazz not jazzing? On one scorching Tuesday, Mama Ogun decided to visit a herbalist to help Tade get rich quick. The 2 of them set out on a journey to the village of all mysteries. "Tade, your business must blow," Mama Ogun said. They squeezed into a rickety okada. They arrived at Baba Ohishe, a fearsome herbalist whose compound smelled of animals' carcasses. The Baba rattled his cowries. "I see money, but it hides behind blood. Familiar blood. If you are really determined to be rich, you have to bring one of your relatives' spirits, and the gate of wealth would be opened unto you." Tade blinked. He looked his mother in the eyes. Fear gripped him. Mama Ogun quickly interjected, "Only relative blood, and my son will get rich?" "Yes," the Baba replied. "Baba, there is no need for delay," Mama Ogun said. Her voice was steady and firm. His sister Seyi is perfect for the sacrifice. At the mention of Seyi in exchange for riches, Tade's soul almost left his body. He didn't like the idea, but the dusty taste of poverty was also not fun. After much talk, the Baba produced a small calabash wrapped in red cloth. Call her name 3 times and hide it under her pillow. If she lays her head on it before 3 sunsets, her breath will stop and her spirit would answer my summons. Mama Ogun was super excited. Thank you, Baba Ohishe. You are the greatest after you na God. But the Baba continued, make sure the charm is used in 3 days. And if she does not sleep on it, I am afraid your boy will wander mad. He would travel around the country, picking papers instead of money. Are you willing to go ahead? Tade was about to say no, when his mother replied quickly, yes, we are ready, Baba. Around 8 the evening, crickets were already performing live concerts in the neighborhood. Tade tiptoed into Seyi's room. He planted the charm under her pillow. When Seyi finished playing with her friends under the village tree, she got back to her room. But her spirit alarm rang. Pray, pray, Seyi, pray. Immediately, she rolled her mat on the floor and said 5 decades of rosary. She was still at it when sleep snatched her. She didn't wake up until the first cock finished clearing his throat. She got up and headed to the river to fetch water. The sound of someone stepping out of the compound woke Mama Ogun up. But before she could see who it was, Seyi had disappeared. Mama Ogun rushed to Seyi's room to confirm her suspicion. Her voice split the morning peace. Tade, Tade rushed out of his room, confused. Mama Ogun stood in the middle of the parlor. She was holding the small calabash that was supposed to contain the charm. Tade, where is your sister? Where is she? She screamed, shaking the empty calabash as if it would pour out answers. Tade blinked, still confused. Maybe she went to fetch water. Water? How? She looked up to the heavens. Ah, Oguno, you have never failed me before. What is going on? No problem. We have 2 more days to try. They kept the charm away, up on the cupboard. Later that day, before dinner was served, Seyi left the house with her Bible clutched to her chest. Her church had announced a vigil. Mama Ogun was sad upon hearing that Seyi was going for a vigil, but she couldn't stop her. So, she patiently waited for her to return. The church vigil had gone on longer than usual. Seyi had danced until her bones gave in. Back at home inside Mama Ogun's sitting room, the air was thick, not with heat, but with guilt, fear, and something darker. Mama Ogun paced back and forth, her eyes darting to the window every 2 minutes. The kerosene lamp on the stool was shaking up and down, like it was scared of what they had done. Tade sat on the mat. His elbows were on his knees. Mama Ogun hissed. She's been there for too long, peeking through the curtain one more time. Waiting them they do for church by this time of the night. Tade stood up suddenly. Mama, what if she didn't come back this night? Shut up, Mama Ogun snapped, her voice trembling despite her attempt to sound bold. She will come back. She must sleep on that pillow. Their plan was wicked. Mama Ogun and Tade agreed that night. Seyi must go. Every creak of the compound gate made Tade jump. I don't understand anymore, Tade murmured. He wiped his face with his singlet. His eyes were wide and wide. Are you sure we haven't made a huge mistake? Me, I don't want to run mad though. Mistake? Mama Ogun queried with a cracked voice. I don't understand you again, self. At exactly 2:02 a.m., the neighbors got back from the vigil, and then they heard its laughter. Familiar laughter. That's Seyi's voice? Tade whispered. Mama Ogun rushed to Seyi's room to plant the trap again. It was 2:15 a.m. before Seyi finally dragged her tired legs into the house. And in less than 15 minutes, Seyi had rearranged her pillow on the bed. She dropped her Bible and collapsed. Yes, on the pillow. She just curled up sideways, hugged her knees like a baby, and within seconds, she started to snore, the type that made the window curtain vibrate slightly with every breath. Meanwhile, in the next room, Tade and Mama Ogun sat up quietly, listening. Their hearts beat louder than the ticking wall clock. Did you hear that? Tade whispered. She's already sleeping and snoring. Mama Ogun whispered back, holding her chest. Slowly, like rats tiptoeing into a trap, the two crept towards Seyi's room. The door opened a little. Tade peeked like a thief in the night. Mama Ogun leaned close behind him, holding her wrapper to her chest, and there she was, Seyi, sleeping peacefully, her head directly on the pillow they had charmed and prepared for her final resting place. But instead of coughing out blood, instead of struggling for breath, instead of choking or shaking violently like the Baba Ohisha had promised, Seyi just let out one long, satisfying snore like an old generator. Then she turned to her side. Mama, this girl's spirit is strong, oh, Tade whispered. Maybe her God is bigger than ours. Mama didn't say a word. They closed the door quietly and tiptoed back to their room. While Seyi journeyed in her dreams, her enemies stayed wide-eyed, afraid of the very silence they created. That night, she slept on the pillow, but death slept somewhere else. Morning came slowly. Inside the house, Tade and Mama Ogun sat like statues in the parlor. Neither of them had closed their eyes all night. The snoring they heard from Seyi's room still echoed in their heads. Then suddenly, Seyi's door opened. She stepped out into the parlor. She yawned, stretched, and reached for her clay pot, the one she always carried to the river, as if nothing had happened. "Good morning, Mama," she said calmly, walking past her mother and brother like they were ordinary neighbors. Her face glowed with fresh peace. Her lace gown from the night before still hung on her body. She looked like someone favored by God. She sang as she walked out of the compound. Mama Ogun's mouth hung open. Tade blinked repeatedly. He rubbed his eyes like he had just seen a ghost. "Tade," Mama Ogun whispered. "Are you seeing what I am seeing?" "She didn't die," Tade muttered. His voice trembled. "She's even going to fetch water," like as if nothing happened to her. As Seyi disappeared down the bush path, her pot balanced confidently on her head, Mama Ogun suddenly stood. "No, this is not happening. Let's enter her room." Both of them rushed into Seyi's room like eagles chasing a rat. But what caught their eyes froze their blood. The small black charm, wrapped in red cloths and cowries, lying on the floor beside her bed. It wasn't under the pillow, not on the bed, but on the floor, exactly where it had fallen the night before, when Seyi had rearranged her pillow blindly in exhaustion. Mama Ogun dropped to the floor. She carried the charm with 2 fingers. Her hands trembled. "Ah!" she cried. The charm didn't touch her. Tade backed away slowly, in silence. Sweat ran down his back. "Mama, this is no longer ordinary. Her angels are active." For the first time in her life, Mama Ogun felt something unusual. Fear. Real fear. Not fear of police, not fear of consequences, but fear of something bigger, something mysterious, something unseen. Mama Ogun didn't want her fear to show just. Her eyes had seen many things in this life. Charms that walk, jazz that speaks, humans that fly at noon, even spirits that knock in broad daylight. But nothing prepared her for Seyi's survival. Instead of backing down, Mama Ogun turned to her son. We shall try again tonight. If this last attempt doesn't catch her, then she's not human. Tade nodded, but his mind was far ahead. He had another plans, bigger and darker. The plans Mama Ogun didn't need to know of. That night, the wind howled like a masquerade. The moon was full and proud, like it knew what was about to happen. Mama Ogun tiptoed into Seyi's room, like a thief in her own house, her eyes darting, with her heart thumping. She whispered incantations under her breath, her wrapper barely tied. She slid the final jars into Seyi's pillow and tiptoed away. But while she was weaving her mischief, Tade was also tiptoeing. The night passed, birds chirped, pots clanged in nearby compounds. Tade couldn't sleep as the first cock announced the dawn. Tade rushed to his mother's door. His heart was pounding heavily, not with love, but with expectation. "Mama? Mama?" he called, knocked, but got no response. He pushed the door open. There she laid, stone cold, with eyes wide open, as if she'd seen something terrible. A dry trail of blood clung to the corner of her mouth. Her wrapper was half loose, her hands frozen mid-clutch, like she tried to grab something in her final moment. Tade screamed, "Mama, Mama, wake up! Don't do this, Mama." Seyi ran in barefooted. What happened? Where is Mama? She saw her brother on the floor, wailing beside their mother's lifeless body. Within minutes, neighbors gathered, some holding buckets, others tied wrapper over their chests. They whispered to each other, "Mama Ogun is gone. The fall of the mighty. She has joined her ancestors." Some say she was evil. Others hissed and laughed. But Seyi just stood there, silent, watching. Hot tears rolled down her beautiful cheeks. Meanwhile, Tade sat in a corner, staring into space. His mind was heavy with thoughts. He muttered to himself, last, I won't run mad, and I must be rich. Somebody had to go down." Before noon, Tade out of the house. He went to the mudward shrine of Baba Ohishe. Fear drummed in his chest. "Baba, it has happened. Mama, she died in her sleep." The charm caught her instead. The old herbalist's eyes widened. He spat the kola nut chaff in his mouth and sprang up. "That is not the covenant we cut," he begged, rattling his staff. "My son, did you not hear me well? I told you the coven accepted Seyi's name, not your mother's. The mother's blood counts for nothing in their ledger. Listen carefully. Wealth will dodge you. Madness will cling to your shadow." Tade's ears rang. Thunder rolled in his skull. He asked quietly, "So, after everything, I still will not become rich?" Baba nodded slowly. "You broke the chain, my son. The spirits must collect their balance. When the next crescent moon rises, your mind will scatter like a broken calabash." Something inside Tade snapped like a dry twig. His gaze fell on the massive wooden pestle that was resting against a mortar of herbs. Before the old man could chant a warning, Tade lunged. He seized the pestle. He brought it crashing down on Baba Ohishe's head. The Baba slumped, his eyes frozen. Cowries spilled from his pockets like guilty secrets. Then silence. Immediately Tade began to laugh, high-pitched, cracked, empty. He tore off his singlet and staggered outside. "I can never run mad. I want to run mad. He yelled at the sky, but the words tangled on his tongue. He clawed at his own hair. He started seeing spirits dancing where others saw only dust. Villagers gathered at the shrine's entrance. They watched in fear. Tade's trousers followed his singlet. He stood half naked in the scorching sun. His eyes rolled like dice in a gambler's cup. He laughed, cried, cursed, and praised all in one breath. And in that terrible afternoon heat, people of Àpara understood that the jazz had claimed its true prize. Not Seyi, not Mama Ogun, but Tade himself. Did you learn anything about this story? Please put your thoughts down in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks so much as you do so. See you in my next one. Bye.